Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. It has been a time, but I have my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go because today we are going to talk about some very important stuff around crypto, Bitcoin, ETFs. Is crypto making a big comeback? And we are going to talk about VEVE's biggest deal this year. We are going to talk about the impact and implications of what is coming for VEVE, of course. But let's do all of that right after the intro. So, good morning to all of you while here my interface is loading basically. I see a couple of you are already here. Thanks for joining so early. Motili, good morning. And Trucking Hank, things are getting exciting. Yes, indeed, they are getting exciting. Let me just adjust this here. G-Money is also here. Good morning to you as well. Guys, make sure to smash up the like button right now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And tick the little bell to always get notified whenever I upload a video, start a live stream. Quickly, I have been, I mentioned this before, but I've been making some smaller medical treatments. So this is why I am not, or why I was not streaming Friday and also not Monday. So hopefully this is done now and we can go back to our normal schedule with a lot of streams, with a ton of streams. But if you want to become a rare hodler like all the other guys, sponsors of this channel, then you can become just a member of this YouTube channel, and therefore you will get access to the exclusive Telegram group and some other nice stuff that I have in mind. Let's see. But with that out of the way, let's jump right in. Let's look at Bitcoin. By the way, where's the chat? Oh, there's the chat. Not loaded yet. Okay, so let's jump into Bitcoin. There is a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff happened in the past couple of days, over the weekend and also yesterday. So we are going into that, and I really try to make it as quick as possible. But let's first look at the situation on the chart. So what we see is basically that Bitcoin bounced back from this moving average, and kind of, if you only consider these 3-4 daily candles, bullishly engulfed the drawdown. Okay, so what we in the end wanted to see is actually happening. It is not super clear, but we can see that this high here is a little bit, and it doesn't let me draw again, is a little bit higher than okay, that must be the reason. What happened? We are in the monthly now. Okay, there we go. So that this high is slightly higher than before we crashed, right? So here we are a little bit higher. So that could imply that at least in the short term, we are expecting some more upside. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, this is a short-term downtrend also, so you could expect a little bit more downside here. Maybe there will be a little bit more downside. We will see. But overall, the bounce of the indicator that now TradingView deleted for me, for sure is a good sign, is a more bullish sign. Now, what about our worst case scenario and our best case scenario? So we broke back into this flag, and this now looks more like a fake out than actually a longer breakdown. So we really have to see how this plays out before we can draw any more conclusions, if we are still getting this, or if we are going to challenge the upper part. And there is some indication that we are going to challenge the upper side, and there is some indication that we are going to see more pain. So let's go into this right away. And it comes from fundamentals. It doesn't come from any technical analysis. For the technicals, we can come back in the chart later and look a little bit to it. But for now, By the way, I thought this was great because this is basically the halving loading. um, but for now, we are waiting for Bitcoin to exactly do that, to load up and then start running. And the question is, how long will it take? So, first of all, negative stuff, right? The SEC has yesterday brought a Wells notice or a notification to Robinhood, um, that they're going to sue Robinhood. And the Wells notice, according to my research, is basically that a notification to a company or whatever, like everything that the SEC is allowed to basically investigate, that they concluded an investigation and are maybe potentially going to sue them or taking legal action against this company. And the biggest problem is they are basically only saying, hey, we are going to sue you. Do you have anything against it? Or you can then bring some arguments why they shouldn't. So they are basically poking you, and then they see how you react. And that's what they are doing with Robinhood. So we're now going to see how Robinhood is going to react. But that could be potentially something if Robinhood is going to, let's say, cease offering certain cryptos, or this could be negative for the altcoins especially. But let's talk about more positive. So look at that. This is great. So this is Grayscale. And Grayscale has been selling all the time since it converted its trust on the 11th of January. They always had been selling. But in the last days, and by the way, this is like here's a little gap because of the weekend, right? But since 2 days of action, so to say, we have a 63 and a 4 million inflow into Grayscale. So Grayscale ended yesterday and the 3rd of May positive, which is overall positive because that means that they're not diluting the market anymore. And overall, if you, there was another one. Where's the other one? I had another one on the ETFs. But okay, but overall, the ETFs are with a positive inflow, right? I mean, we can also maybe check that quickly here on Twitter. So if we just go for a Bitcoin ETF, we should be seeing that all over the latest. So every single Bitcoin ETF sees inflows, and then also this is also interesting. So let's go with this first. So every single ETF sees inflows. So there's not a single negative one on the downside here of this chart. So always you see usually the red one was GBTC, and now you have GBTC like here, up here, right? So, and that means that maybe we can see also how much that is, but we're just producing 450 Bitcoin per day. And they all have net inflows now, so they must be buying it from somewhere, right? And now they cannot buy anymore. So you see here, usually the big candles, they are mirroring more or less the Grayscale outflows, but now this is since 2 days at least, this is gone, right? So no Grayscale outflows since 2 days. And then after 4 days of trading, the Hong Kong ETF, the Bitcoin ETF, also accumulated 4,400, roundabout 4,400. You see it here next to my face. 4,400 Bitcoin in 4 days. That's an average of 1,100 Bitcoin absorption per day only from the Hong Kong ETF, which means that only Hong Kong, even if everyone else would do nothing, already absorbs more than 2 days worth of Bitcoin production. So also there you have an inflow that exceeds by far what Bitcoin is producing, or what Bitcoin miners are producing per day. So we're seeing some action here on the Bitcoin ETFs. But now back to the negative stuff, or not negative stuff, but to some interesting stuff, because I really want, and I'm going to show some videos about this, because I really want to hammer home the point why Bitcoin is so important, and also why, because many people cannot believe how decision makers in politics can fuck up so hard, right? So we see here, once again, we showed this before, but it's super interesting in my opinion. We see the annual, like the US annual interest payments is at a $1 trillion, right? The interest payment. So think about a loan, and only the interest that you're paying is at 1 trillion. So you see here basically the US Treasury interest payments down there. Then the projection, if the Fed would cut by 150 basis points, that is 625 cuts. And the projection, if the rate maintains stable, you see it here, right? So you would go from where we are right now until April next month, you would go to 1.7 trillion interest rates, right? So as interest rate payments. So if you would cut, you would limit that by far, right? So if you would cut now, the longer you wait, the more this spirals out of control. Meaning, whoever needs this the most, that's basically the US themselves. They need the rate cut more than anyone else, right? Obviously, there are many people in trouble, and this is something else that we are seeing here. We had seen before an article where McDonald's warned that the low-income people, that they are suffering the most, basically that they are starting to crack, right? And I said before that for the Fed to cut rates, something in the system has to break first, right? So we see here the most common sacrifices people make to afford housing. I think it's absolutely crazy. And welcome to the Rare Hodler fam, Mewtwo. So welcome. Very happy to have you here. Please shoot me a message or tag me somewhere on X, on Twitter, after the stream, so that I can send you the link to our Telegram group. Good morning to you, and thank you for that. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. So what did people do to still afford their housing? Only their housing, right? We're not even talking about what people are doing to afford their standard of living and anything else. So they 34.5% took no or fewer vacations. So no vacation, brutal, right? That already sucks, right? Because I mean, you will see later, Americans are working their ass off, right? So they skip meals. What the heck, right? I mean, you can skip meals because of health, right? I mean, some people are obese, some people are fat, some people have gut health issues, and so on, and they fast. But to afford housing, that's crazy, right? And then worked additional hours, shifts at job. Okay, that sometimes happens, but so you get some extra hours paid. Sold the belongings, 20%. Borrowed money. So this is basically, you get liquidated, right? If you have to sell your belongings or whatever to afford your like standard and basic income, you basically got liquidated. Borrowed money from friends and family, that can end up pretty bad, right? Dipped into retirement savings, also pretty bad, because you're just delaying what's coming, right? And that's all like 20%. Delayed or skipped healthcare treatment, that is like the worst point that I've ever seen. 15.6%, and so on. Worked a side hustle, like an extra job, and then you see here, right, no vacations but extra job. That is crazy, like Uber driver, food delivery, whatnot, maybe servicing at a restaurant, a bar, whatever, in the evening. That is crazy because you're basically only working and you're trading your time just to afford the same lifestyle that you had before. So that is where basically people are cracking. That's where I'm getting at with this, right? So I think that this is important to notice. And basically having some savings up in Bitcoin actually fixes this, right? If those people had bought, like had sold the belongings before, bought Bitcoin, they would be up now, would have I don't know, like whatever, like side hustle, and then bought Bitcoin, they would have gotten out something that they could sell now, or they could have sold in the past months. So Bitcoin fixes that. I had I have some video snippets here that I really like to show you guys. I just have to see where the other part is from this here, actually. And by the way, JC, is Omi dead? Let's talk about this in a second. I just have to find this other, the other part here. So there we go. So this is from a Bitcoin debate, which I found interesting. Like, it has Peter Schiff, it has some people that are like, it's like more or less a pro and con Bitcoin, right? And I think it's the explanation here is really cool, right? So it should be this part here.
Living is my parents and my
sorry. I'm going to mute my microphone while we're watching this.
sister live in Israel. I send them money.
30 seconds of his time
Got
to
it.
you.
Okay.
And we want to hear it, so.
Okay. First of all, a world in which gold was the money again would be a superior world to the status quo. I'll grant that. My primary concern is that the world has money that is derived out of market processes rather than out of coercive centralization of the state. The latter is extremely an un-American and dangerous plague that has existed now since at least 1971, when the dollar became a fiat currency. Anything that moves the world away from centralized control of money to market-based control of money is something that I would be in favor of. Peter, I will praise you if you can get the world to accept gold again as a form of normal money. That would be great. There are some other of us who don't wish to wait around for that, and we actually think a decentralized form of money that you can send in a digital world has value. And back in 2011, 2012, 2013, when we had our first debate, I understand that like the burden of proof was on us. We had to argue that it was a currency or that it was a money. We had to make those statements because there's no reason for anyone to believe us back then. But it's 2024, and this is a $1.2 trillion asset, one of the most liquid assets in the world, one of the top 10 assets in the entire world by market cap. I don't need to keep making the case that Bitcoin is something. The world believes it's something. You can see why if you ever go try to send a transaction internationally with a bank and you do it with Bitcoin on your phone, anyone who's done those two things will see the value immediately. And I don't have to like defend it much, right? It's just growing and it's an option. There's no Bitcoiner that would force either of you to ever use it. And if you want to stay in the traditional financial system, go down with the Titanic, go for it. Many of us are choosing an alternative.
I'm on the Voorhees.
Okay, so I really like that statement, so I wanted to show it to you because there is a very essential part in it, and it's very true that only now, like with the beginning of this year, maybe in end of last year, the burden of proof of Bitcoin went away, right? So until then, everyone had to discuss adoption rate. Can it be something where you can basically, where it finds a purpose? Is it more store of value, or is it also being used as a means of transferring wealth from A to B without permission, without an intermediary, without barriers in the world, more decentralized? That all went away with the ETFs and with some certain things that were happening in the world. But there is one more snippet that I wanted to show to you guys. It's also only 1 minute long, and I think that really hammers the nail in the coffin why Bitcoin is just superior, because there's always this argument, oh, if you want to send money, you can just use PayPal, right? And I really loved the answer here, or the debate here at this point, because it just shows why Bitcoin is here, and you can also derive for other crypto why it's here to stay, right? So if you have any doubts, this one will be good.
Every month. What do? I do it with Venmo. How long does it take me to transfer of money from here to Israel? Literally takes 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Cool. I send it, there is an email that comes, says the money was transferred to their account. 5 seconds. I can do it with Venmo, I can do it with PayPal, I can do it with Square, all over the world.
Yeah.
Of course, if I want to send $1 billion, a bank is going to say, wait a moment, where are you sending it, who's sending it, and I have to check it. Fair enough. Okay. But the idea that it's going to take forever, come on, all these fintech solutions are used by billions of people for billions of transactions every freaking day. Payments of goods and services. You go in China, there's no more currencies. Alipay, WeChat Pay. Who's using cash anymore? I use Venmo, I use PayPal, I use whatever. Zelle, every day in and out. That's payment system. It's the future payment system. It's not going to be anything crypto. Maybe it's a store of value. Maybe it is a store of value. But it's not going to be a currency. It's not going to be a means of payment. As I said, in El Salvador, where you force people to accept it, nobody's using it to buy goods and services. That's a fact.
What if your family was in Russia? How would you send them money right now? Tell me that.
There are.
Going to use Venmo? Going to use PayPal?
No, there are.
Going to use the banking system?
There are some autocratic and dictatorial systems.
Okay, so this was just with one small question. It's like, what if your family was in Russia? How do you send it now? Okay, so basically, he basically proved this point, like borderless. You can just, and the same happened, right? When in Canada there were these protests, right? They cut off all the financing and whatnot. So we saw this in many parts of the world, that the government couldn't use the means anymore that they did before to block a certain group out of their financing, right? So he completely destroyed this guy in this debate, right? He completely destroyed everyone, I would say. But we really have to see, Bitcoin is one of the most liquid markets right now. So this is the reason why these asset managers all wanted to tap into it, and they basically gave legitimacy to it by this. And yet we just saw that the Fed is still trying to destroy parts of the sentiment by taking actions such as against Robinhood right now. And why did they target Robinhood? Because it's just something where younger people are putting their money in, and apparently there is this need for the SEC to try to keep people from investing in crypto and sticking with this completely destroyed fiat system. And here I have another one for you, which is also really cool. I have another one for you. Most people think that the more someone is in politics above, the more that they know what they're doing. And many people cannot imagine how that politics and asset managers can do the same stupid stuff than regular people, because you think they have advisors, that they have people that help them prepare for each and every question and so on. And I'm going to show you another video that proves to you that really, like, if you're asking why things like this happens or things like this happens, it really shows us. And this guy's like, this is, I'd say, frightening. Let's watch it first.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? Is
that what they
do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah, so a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to, yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So, I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Yeah, the only thing confusing he himself, and you have to see this not just any guy, right? Let me move this so you can see this, right? This is Jared Bernstein, and Jared Bernstein is the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors to the President Joe Biden. Like this, I mean, he obviously blacked out there, and probably he kind of knows his stuff, but I mean, he literally was unable to explain that how the US bond market basically works, right? So, or to try to, he wasn't even able to maneuver around the question. That was, by the way, that was a really good question. So why do we print money and then borrow this money back from people? And this is the same question basically as someone else asked. I really loved that question. Someone else asked, why do people have to pay tax if if the government prints their own money anyways? And that's a very legitimate question, right? Because I mean, you could just say, hey, basically the permanent inflation by money printing is just that's your tax, right? But and the answer, I think the answer that I saw was like the greatest answer ever, because they said you have to pay tax, and maybe this accounts also for the stuff of borrowing it back. Maybe it's the same answer, right? So you have to pay tax and you have to borrow bonds, because that gives you a feeling of that the currency actually is worth something. Because if you only had a piece of paper and the government prints their own money, but you have to go work to earn it, and it then depreciates in value, you wouldn't have the feeling that that's worth something. But by taking something away from you and having the government basically wanting your money, like having like, oh, give me some money either by borrowing or by paying tax, you get the sense of that's actually worth something. So, but this is crazy, right? So you see, this is the advisor of Joe Biden in economic sense, and yeah, he clearly is that what they do? The government definitely prints money. Yep, we saw that, and the government also selling bonds. Yeah, we saw that as well. That is embarrassing, absolutely, as Mewtwo says, and it's also very painful to watch. But don't fret, I have another 10-second clip here that is a little bit older, and we already watched it, but it fits so perfectly. So let's see it also, and pay attention to the what the other guy looks like when we see this here. So
the United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default.
Zero probability of default because we have the printer at home. So it's like, hey, if I mean, I also would have, me personally, I also would have 0% chance of default and going bankrupt if I had just a money printer here. The only problem is that the tactical forces would just raid my home if I did that, right? So I would be counterfeiting money. And that's what the government is also, or actually it's not the government, it's the Federal Reserve, right? In the name of the government, the Federal Reserve is counterfeiting money and then transfers it to the US government in any shape and way or form. So that is pretty cool, right? Anyways, so what is all of that, does all of that mean? So let's close the circle here. So people are cracking, that is clear, right? The culprits, we just heard about the people that say, oh, we can just print money. We have an interest rate that is spiraling out of control if the rates do not come down. The rates will come down because the job market for the first time is actually softening hard. So if this continues, like US job growth totaled 175,000 in April, much less than expected, which means softening harder than expected, while unemployment rose to 3.9%. The only thing that we need to see right now for the US is basically that the inflation rate doesn't go up more. And then basically this would be the signal for Powell to somewhere cut, right? By the way, that sucks. BP misses expectations, profit slip. That sucks because I have BP stocks, but I bought them in the very dip of COVID, so it's fine. Oh, there was my BlackRock inflow chart, by the way. Okay. So that is what I wanted to show you guys. I think that rates will come down in the next month, and that is where Bitcoin is going to pump hard. So right now, let's look at the monthly quickly, and then we're going to JC's ECOMI discussion. Let's just get rid of some lines here. Oops, there we go. Or actually, on the monthly. So, and then let's get our favorite indicator, the TSI, in here. So TSI, and by the way, where is my, there is, the line is gone from TSI. So let's get the line back in here. So that is what we need to just take a quick look where we are in this channel. So here we go. So where are we in this whole thing? So we have kind of our, like in this cycle, we have the RSI dip, and I'm going to shift this to the side so that you really see. So in the RSI, we actually we came up until 70 something. So we had a quick dip up, just as we had here, only that here it was a little bit more. And now we are coiling up again. And here for the TSI, nothing really changed. And actually, I kind of like that, because we're a little bit resyncing with the previous cycle. So the TSI is, first of all, widened, like here, right? You see this, like here after the halving, it's widened and it's coiling up. So we're expecting this TSI to go at least to this trend line. So there is room for another move, like we already did. And the RSI also has room to grow. So from that perspective, we are all on track for the cycle. So that is just what I wanted to show you. And I think these are my main indicators, besides sentiment, which we looked at last week, to say, okay, we're only halfway there. So the parabolic move is yet to happen. The bigger question is, how much will we move sideways now? So there's a little bit of a sell in May, go away. And also we can expect, if there's something breaking in the system, like something bad happening, something economically bad, we can expect some red before the upside, right? So we would have this whatever breaks in the system, we have the crack in the system, red, everything goes down, and then rate cuts, and then boom, right, the rally going on. So, and then we have sell in May, go away, which is basically right now. That is also something where I would say, maybe we could see some more red here. But on the other hand, On the other hand, if we're looking in the other time frames, it kind of looks. Look at that. I wanted to show this to you. That is a hammer, right? And a hammer usually is followed up by positive price action over the longer term. And that hammer has a pretty. I mean, that is not only a hammer, that is a Mjolnir on the weekly. So on the weekly basis, I would say you could expect some more upside here, right? Overall, does that mean that we are? I mean, we could on the weekly basis, we could just move sideways for a longer time until we're going, right? And then quickly and last look to the total three, to the altcoins. If we are, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? I'm going to show it to you here on the weekly. Until now, I'd say until now we're pretty much. I mean, even the wicks down here, they're almost aligned for the altcoin, the entire altcoin market cap. We are looking pretty good. The indicators are cooling off, and we would have, if we would follow this chart as it is, we would have another 1 or 2 weeks until we should be going up, maybe 3 if we are going to go a little bit behind that. But if we were to follow this projection like in the last cycle, then we should have more. This could be completely invalidated if there's something breaking in the system and altcoins experience another dip or so, then this could be completely invalidated. But I wouldn't even if we start pumping with the altcoins here in June or July, and it's just it would go like this, right, like this, and then we go off here, I would say pretty damn accurate still, right? What I want is not that it moves correctly in this cycle and then tap my back for being right all the time. No, what I want is that this does the same move. But if this happens in August, right, and does this rocket, I just want that this pumps like it did before in the cycle before, right, as it did here. So that's definitely what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's get to the next stuff here, to ECOMI, and address a little bit the concerns, the questions here and whatnot. So let's go. Actually, let's refresh here. We don't have to refresh. Okay, that's good. That is good. So what we saw here, what we see here is let's get into the daily. Also kind of like predicted. So let's look up the question here. Let's look at that. Why can't I move up to in the chat? Why can't I move up in the chat? Shit. Okay, let me just do one thing and open the other chat here, the real chat on YouTube, so that I can see this. Okay. So JC asked, is OMI dead? Some hardcore supporters said the management cannot revive it. Investors and retailers are pulling out. That's why the value is crashing down. The management always doesn't meet deadlines. So it depends, right? So first of all, I would not confirm that from a chart, because a dead coin doesn't do 100% moves all the time between on this level, right, on this market cap level. I mean, there are coins that are dead and title locked and just traded away, but I mean, you see this price action here, and the reason why we're dumping is not that like long-term investors are dumping the price down. It's because whales are trading this price like crazy. And whales have billions of tokens, and they can do this, right? They can manipulate this. But if this were dead, we would have lost support many times here, right? Here is a big support, and that means if here is a big support, that means there is someone buying, right? And someone is buying everything that gets sold at these levels, and this multiple times. We see it here, we see it here, we see it here, we see it here, and we see it here right now. So there is a massive base. That is the first indicator. There is a massive base forming. And we will see potentially the turnaround here in a couple of weeks when the altcoin market comes back, right? So that is the first thing that I would comment to this. So the next thing is that usually if there are hard claims like a coin is dead, we need evidence for that. And so far, the question is the management cannot revive it. I would say they can, but it needs to be when there's attention on the token, and then they need to bring something big. And the big is the brands and the big deals like now combined with OMI to NFT, right? So I would say that is, and by the way, we don't need this moving average is not needed. A revival would be always possible if you give utility and narrative to the token. And that is the problem is neither of this is relevant right now. So the utility is there, but it's very limited because getting MCP, so MCP doesn't have the impact that it should have right now. And that's also a bull market topic, right? Bear market versus bull market. I would say that this could change only in the end of the year when there is attention coming back to metaverse and NFT tokens, and that's just not the case at the moment. And you can research whatever NFT and metaverse coin and token, and you will find the same thing. So I say there is nothing unique in the drawdown of ECOMI, other than that we're lacking a potential narrative at the moment. And I think that is why OMI to NFT will only come out in the end of the year when altcoins start to rally. And the narrative shifts to like all these projects like Wilder World and Sandbox and Decentraland and Cornucopias and whatnot. They will all come out with like high quality videos, metaverse, integration of their token, statistics about their token, TVL, staking mechanisms, blah, blah, blah. They will all come out with that. But right now it's not the time. And my hope is that actually the gaming sector will bring attention back to NFTs and metaverse. Because right now we have like this Web3 gaming thing going on where all of these games that no one ever played, but they all have nice narratives, that they more or less this wave comes into NFT, because they will probably, I will call this right now, they will probably all launch their own NFT collections. They will all launch their NFT integration with whatever marketplaces, and some of them might launch a collection on VEVE or so, who knows, right? Maybe not like the established ones, but maybe some others that want to tap into the community. And therefore I hope that these ties come in with metaverse, with NFT marketplaces like Blur and so on. So hopefully that is happening. We cannot say for sure, but right now the attention to NFT and whatnot is just dead, right? So Trucking Hank said, it's not dead. If it doesn't move when the utility is delivered, then we could determine if it's dead. Yeah, and I think that's very true here, this statement. And I think if you are holding ECOMI, yeah, like I do, and you have been patient, like a patient hodler, like I am, for so long, and maybe you're even a patient accumulator, so as some people in our Telegram group, right? Then you might hold on for another while right now. So there's no sense in selling the bottom right now in front of a potential altcoin season. I mean, we have looked at it just now. You've seen it just now. Altcoins in general are just in a mega drawdown, right? If you see this week, it was a 30%er on the altcoin market cap, which results in at least 30-40% for smaller coins. So for ECOMI, we have this trading range, and it's not, and I have to say this, I have to give credit to everyone who is criticizing it, it's not a normal drawdown. It's a 54% drawdown, which we saw many times, always to the same level. This is manipulated by whales, by actors in this market. But these whales have the same power to drive up the price once there is new money coming in and pump this price into oblivion to then scale out of their bags once this price is going higher. And that's where we also have to do that. We also have to lock in profits, right? And they are doing, you have to see this. From here, if they would just pump up the price on the next news, pump up the price up, they will almost double their money on what they can sell, what they bought below and what they can sell. They will double their money, right? So, okay, so let's look at what is big. And many people are like, why didn't this pump the price, right? So VEVE is obviously, and we'll have for everyone who's watching here. Well, by the way, we have more than 20 people, so don't forget to smash up the like button here, please, for me. Let's have 20 likes also under this video. This would really help me. Unless you're driving, then please be safe and just listen. Don't watch. Don't like. Then don't like. Don't do this. You can like afterwards or when you're taking a break, right? But don't put yourself into any risk. Okay. So we have this big deal, right? So we have Blackpink here, and Blackpink is basically debuting at VEVE with VEVE Vibes this May, and yeah, you can collect the first ever Blackpink digital collectible and celebrate a new era of fandom with the VEVE Vibes. So this is now the first big deal in the music vertical, I would say. We don't really know how these collectibles go, but if you're clicking here on this article, you see this countdown, right? So you can, on VEVE Vibes, you can sign up for the Blackpink announcement reveal, and you can get a free collectible. And what you have to do is you have to fill in your first, last name, your email, and a phone number, and then submit. And what you're getting, I'm already telling you here, is you're getting an error message, right? And that is not a problem. Actually, I mean, it's a problem because it looks bad, but you still get an email afterwards where they ask you to participate, like you choose for a free collectible, right? If you sign up there. So you choose between black and pink, and probably in some shape and way or form you're getting, depending on what color you're choosing, you're getting a collectible, right? And that is cool because the people that are coming from Blackpink, from this Korean, I forgot to say this, right? Because it was already around now a couple of days, but Blackpink is a Korean girl band, so to say. And they are very famous. So you see here, for example, they have 10.3 million followers just on Twitter, and the followings of each of these girls is like millions on whatever social media you're looking. And people, like, I saw so many comments here, and we can also check this out, of really genuine followers of this in the comments, right? So for example, let's see here. So here, for example, right? We have this person here with 15,000 followers. She's like, can someone explain what this is? And then you see here also the massive following, like 93 million followers on YouTube, right? So hopefully they themselves are endorsing this a little bit as well to their following. So it's absolutely massive. Let's see, there were some others that were, yeah. So here, for example, oh no, that is Clarice. Sorry, I saw that wrong. It's, where's the other ones? So yeah, Blackpink Mexico Union, a fan group that has 125,000 followers, commented on this. And what I noticed is they're like, I'm ready. So the funny thing is, whenever you do this, like for the US and European community for gaming, you just get negative comments, right? But these guys, they're like, oh, nice, or they were like neutrals, like, oh, this is not music, but hey, cool stuff, right? I'm ready. So there are here, OMG, what does this mean? So they're curious, and obviously our our cultish fam is already there to help them out to find out what this is. So here we have Ruby, we need answers about this. Rabbit, OMG, then this one here, whatever that means. Born Blink, so she even has the heart, like the Blackpink in her name. I was about to get excited, but nah, it's not music. You will see it. It is music collectible. So this is great. It's the Blackpink Panther. This is good. This is great. So we. Oh, actually, this is also good. Wendy O is a pretty famous YouTuber, and she's like, my 7-year-old is literally obsessed with Blackpink. I'm going to have to get some. So, woo, that is good, right? That is good news. So for sure. So there's marketing rolling across this. There is organic people finding out. And then you can, like, you have in this countdown web page, you basically have stuff to, like, oh, learn more, how does this works, right? Rarities and more. Bring your collection to life, go to market. So if you're like discover more, you're getting to VEVE articles, very short ones, how to use this. And probably, I think I should make a video about how to get into this stuff, right? So yeah, let's see here, the chat. Do other projects with real world utility have the same attitude toward regulations as ECOMI does? Regulation could take years, yet it seems like they have already drawn their line in the sand. I would say in terms of ECOMI, it's probably because they're very sensitive because of New Zealand. But I would also say that I think ECOMI is actually registered in Singapore. But I would say no. I would say they are the most sensitive, and at some point I would also say that they are kind of hiding behind that also to not bring like massive utility because maybe they don't have it ready, right? So that's just my speculation. But on the other side, I think there's still time. If I don't see any bigger development by the end of this year, where altcoin season should be starting to move, or where altcoins should really pump hard, and ECOMI doesn't do well in this, then we might have to take some action and reducing our exposure. But for now, I think there's still time. And then also, Mewtwo says, this is very good. VEVE just planted their seeds in South Korea. If they keep planting their seeds around the world, sooner or later they will reap the benefits. Big move for VEVE. And veggie food lover BLR says, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. And you? How are you doing? Yeah, super bullish. OMI announcement soon, I'm guessing. I mean, if there would be an OMI announcement together with this, I think this could be too much for these new people that are coming in, right? I mean, you're looking at Korean, you're looking at a Korean community that is super fan of Blackpink, right? I mean, you're looking literally at either parents of children that really love this band, or you're looking at some Korean girls that are really into this. I mean, apparently there are also grown men absolutely crazy for that, so that is not, but maybe that's not the community. That if they're just finding out about how to buy gems, how to get into VEVE, you don't want to overload them maybe with ECOMI. So maybe not a good idea to drop ECOMI news right into that. Probably you want to have this. My question would be, how many big things does VEVE have to pull out of their pocket if they are bringing this? I mean, we have to see. They just launched the VEVE Comics platform with Marvel, which was a big deal in my opinion. They just dropped Wolverine, which kind of was a big drop, right? And now they're coming with this. So what do they have for the bull market? What the heck do they have ready when the bull market gets started? Yeah, that is crazy. And I'm pretty sure they are kind of timing this. But even in my personal feed, I saw these Koreans ask for what this is with VEVE and so on. So what is interesting to look at is actually this here. So unfortunately, we still have this ECOMI airdrop bump in the data, but what is, you still can see that basically from when this started with the announcements around this, you can see that user growth was coiling up a little bit more. So if we're taking this point somewhere here, we see we have 922, so 658, 922, and then we're going up to 71. So that is 150 users over a couple of days. So that is quite good, right? And hopefully some of them are the new the people that are waiting for Blackpink and are already coming into the app to find out what's actually going on and to look a little bit around. Maybe they find something that interests them, like Peely or Ultraman or whatnot. So maybe there is, the good thing is when VEVE launched Disney and Marvel, there was not too much other stuff for collectors to find out. Because, I mean, there were some comics and there were some collectibles and it was crazy bull run and no one did hit anything on the drop. But right now, there are things in the store that you can just mint and buy. There are tons of things that are affordable on the market. There are so for Asia, there is Asian-oriented content already on the app, which you can buy. And there is other stuff that people might like on the app, so depending on personal preference. Because the cool thing is, by bringing a music community in, is that these people also have interests in other verticals, right? So for example, when let's say I'm coming into the app because of a German band that I like, right? And then that doesn't mean that I don't like also Marvel comics, or I also am interested in stamps, or I'm also looking to buy a digital Lambo or something like that, right? So that these side effects always happen. And if you're coming in from the music side, there is a very high chance that you might be also a fan of something big, like either Marvel or Star Wars or yeah, I don't know, or Lamborghini or stamps, or what else do we have? Like DC, maybe you're a huge fan of Batman or what. It's all possible, right? Let's see, Blaze. Hey Blaze, what's going on? Hopefully people don't shill the F out of the Marvel Disney NFTs to the new people. Organic is better. Yes, and I would also love, and maybe that's something that everyone needs to see here. I would also love to that people just help them out if they have questions and don't come like the super cultish preachers and like, oh, you have to, like, this is the next biggest thing, and crypto. These people might not come from the crypto side, right? So they may or may not be interested in crypto. So if they just want to find out how they can get their Blackpink collectible, and that's it, and that is fine for now. I think you don't have to go there and shill them OMI tokens, right? We don't have to go there and be like, I don't know, this super annoying people in the city centers that, you know, like, you just want to enjoy the walk and look at something, and then they're like, oh, hey, do you already know about this and that? Please leave me alone. What the heck, right? So I think that would be my wish, but I also know there will be cultish people that are going to hopefully not drive these people away, right? We will see. I hope, the biggest hope that we can have is actually that out of this, some Korean YouTubers or any content creators are like taking this into either into their existing stuff or maybe starting to do content around this for Koreans. That would be cool. That would be interesting to see. But overall, we can monitor how many people are coming into this. I mean, we see it here behind the screen, and yeah, that is definitely a cool thing. So Blaze says some of the posts have been cultish as fuck. I'll always just push him away. Peeps gotta chill. Yeah, I think this is like, if you're coming across as a desperate community, I mean, we can look at this. If someone is like, can someone explain? Let's see who. Okay, so someone else like me too. NFT or digital collectible, but you keep in on VEVE app, can't move it off the app. So this is just like someone who tries to already be like, oh, don't buy it on VEVE, right? This is also not good because people are like proactively don't buy this stuff, and I don't know what. So we have VEVE Rider here. VEVE creates digital collectibles like these. So here, like shilling all of the stuff, but actually with a video proof, this looks pretty good. One of the biggest stealth crypto scams to ever exist. This is like, here we have now people that are proactively damaging what VEVE tries to do. So this is really a problem. Then we have Trucking Hank here doing the work. VEVE is an amazing way to collect digitally. They have a fandom for everyone. That is absolutely true. No problem. VEVE is a digital collectibles platform that interacts with blockchain. So I think I like this. It's like explaining with some proof from their own vaults. So I think this is not cultish, right? New era of collecting. That's also a good statement, right? VEVE creates limited edition collectible. I think that's not too cultish, right? No problem. I can explain to you over a glass of wine and some pizza. That's creepy. It looks like digital. Actually, it's not too bad. Like, I mean, the comment could have been worse, but obviously the person is. Anyways, I'm not going to judge here. It looks like digital collectibles. I'ma collect them all 50 times over. So that's. I mean, with the red circles, it looks like digital collectibles. Come on, I see what you're doing here, right? I see what you're doing here. Blaze is great to catch a live. I've missed a bunch lately. Actually, I've also not done a live for like 5 days or so, or 4 days. So I'm happy to be back as well, and that's why I'm like doing it like this. Okay, so guys, yes, like some people are positive, some are negative. We hope that these people don't get driven away by people as like sabotaging. But anyways, guys, so this is VEVE's big deal, and crypto is also looking good for now. So guys, make sure to smash the like button. Once again, let's have at least those 20 something likes that we also have people in here. Please do me the favor. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And tick the little bell to get notified when I upload videos. And guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for enjoying with me. Welcome Mewtwo. Don't forget to shoot me a message, and wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon.